New 80s Revolution with Jason Nupp, a one and all show full of fun where anything can and does happen. Pickups, fan mail, toy reviews, camping with the New 80s Revolution Jr. Whatever the heck else does not fit into a specific category, Jason covers it right here, folks. And now, the host of the New 80s Revolution, Jason Nupp.
What's up, guys? Jason Nupp, New Age Revolution, down here in the cave with a symphony of sounds behind me. We've got the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out Little Mac and his trainer riding through the streets of New York, I assume, after, oh yeah, it is New York, there's Statue of Liberty, after just beating Bald Bull for the major circuit title, after Dad just beat Bald Bull, because little Liam struggled a wee bit. All right, so we are here back with another top 5 video. This is a break from the top 5 LJNs that should have been made. Tonight, a spin-off, if you will, of my top 5 80s, my top 5 television shows of all time. The spin-off, if you will, is the top 5 television families, television homes that I would like to live with. That's right. The top 5 television families, television homes that I would like to live in. At any era. Am I just a kid in some of these homes? We'll have to see. But before then, nice job, Liam. Knocked out by Piston Honda the second. Before then, a quick Comic-Con update. The Comic-Cons are back. I am double vaccinated, even though that apparently means nothing. Or maybe it means something. I don't know. Don't leave me any stupid comments. You gotta block those, dude. You gotta block Piston Honda's punches. So anyway, I'm going to the Comic-Cons this year, and I can't wait. The first one is in August, and the second one of the year is in September. So I want you guys to make sure, if you're in the area, you come, okay? The first one is August 13th through the 15th. It's in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. It is none other than the Steel City Con. The reason I am going, first of all, back in the day, a lot of people told me that Steel City Con was very heavy with vendors. So lots of, oh, you got to start over, dude. Lots of tables, lots of vendors. So that's good. The main reason I'm going is Robert Englund is going to be there. And that's huge, to meet Freddy Krueger. And in addition, the another Jason actor that I have not met, Ken Kersinger, will be there. And they are doing Freddy vs. Jason photo ops. And Ken Kersinger will be in costume. Freddy has his glove. Robert Englund has his glove, and they're doing Freddy vs. Jason photo ops, which that kills it for me. That nails it. That is my 2 favorite horror icons of all time, hands down. Nobody's even close in my world. And I'm going to be in a picture with both of them, and I'm so excited about that. There's a couple of Nightmare on Elm Street actresses on the card as well. And Monica Keena, who, amongst other things, obviously was in Freddy vs. Jason. And I'm going to start a Friday the 13th project on a full-size movie poster. And just get as many Friday the 13th actors' signatures as I can. So Monica Keena and Ken Kersinger will be on that poster, the first 2. That's huge. I'm so excited. The hotel, I believe, is like in the parking lot of the convention center, so walking straight over. Hopefully hotel bar. I'm going to live it up, guys. It's been 2 years, and I'm going balls out. That's right, balls out. Never said that before on the channel. And we're going to do footage. I'm going to bring the video camera this time instead of the cell phone, which captures horrible footage for some reason. And we're going to record the experience. The second one is not necessarily a Comic-Con, but a massive toy show, RetroCon, at the Philadelphia Expo Center. That's September 25th through the 26th. I will be there for that as well. So please, if you're in the Pennsylvania tri-state area, swing on over. Just use the code. Swing on over to those 2 cons and let's hang out and drink a beer. Speaking of beer, we've got an awesome summer product from Genesee. If upstate Johnny gets his upstate butt over here, we'll be sipping on some lemon strawberry cream ale from Jenny. All right, so that's that. That's the update. So let's get on to the top 5 top 5 television homes / television families that I would like to live in. Number 5. Now you're gonna say, well, these are just your favorite shows. Yeah, sure, for the most part. But why do I want to be a part of their families? Why do I want to grow up in their homes or live as an adult in their homes? We'll have to see. So, this might get therapeutic. I don't know. We might go deep. First one's Leave It to Beaver. I would, obviously I wasn't born in the 50s. And I know that the Leave It to Beaver facade of life is probably just that. It's probably a facade. And we all know that crazy stuff was going on in the 50s too. But there is something so special about the Cleaver household. The order, the organization, the respect, the roles of the parent, the role of the father. Now, guys, we're talking about the 50s. I'm not, go ladies, go, women's rights and stuff. But, there's still something very throwback and very nostalgic about dad goes to work and mom's at home with the kids. That's actually the way it works in my house. I'm fortunate enough to, have my own business and, my wife can stay home with the kids. But it goes beyond that because we certainly don't have the Leave It to Beaver flow going in the house. There's just something so special about, what I don't love about Leave It to Beaver is how the dad is not super close with the kids. He's close from a disciplinarian standpoint, and every once in a while there's some softness, and every once in a while there's some hugs. I'm not down with that. I'm all over my kids daily with physical affection. So that I wouldn't want, but the stuffiness about it, I guess I like. Ward comes home in a business suit, and to slip into something more comfortable, he changes into a lesser businessy suit, right? He puts on his Saturday suit. And as stuffy and restricted as that is, I like it. I like the dinner routine. Sitting down to dinner, dressing for dinner, proper table etiquette. Liam's taking Piston Honda into the 3rd round. The boys sharing a room, I think, is fantastic. How they spend their time on weekends, just getting into stuff and going fishing and catching frogs and, finding boats laying around and taking a boat out onto the water and getting in trouble for it. I love it. I love it. The school setting, I love. Some of the conflicts with the really minor conflicts with the kids, picking on other kids in a very minor way. The scraps in the schoolyard. I love it. In comparison to us, they had absolutely nothing to do. They had like no entertainment as we're used to entertainment. And so they found their own. And I loved how they did that. Marbles and fishing and building clubhouses and helping their dad in the lawn on a Saturday. And it's the best. Leave It to Beaver is the first home family that I would like to have grown up in. The second, keeping that theme, but jumping ahead about 20 years, the Bradys. The Bradys, Full House. Okay, Liam wants to grow up in Full House. Which we could, sure, that'll be an honorable mention. The Bradys, Liam and I did actually watch the entire Bradys series on DVD, and he got a kick out of it. But again, same concept of family and ethics and values and rules, just jumped up 20 years into a little bit more of the modern 70s. But same deal with dad going to work and mom at home. Apparently mom, even though doesn't work, can't handle the daily chores, and so they have a housekeeper, which as we watched that more and more, Liam and I, he started asking me, why can't we have a housekeeper? And I couldn't really give him an answer why. They sound like the greatest thing ever. Like Alice literally lived there and took care of absolutely everything they needed. And I loved that. I don't know what Mrs. Brady did all day. But whatever. I loved it. And I loved the siblings sharing rooms. I think that's underrated. I think that's a forgotten art. My kids don't share rooms. And I try to look at them now and see if they even could. And I don't know if they could. They'd have to get used to like going to bed at night and, not distracting each other all night. But I don't know. I miss that. I miss that. I miss that concept. My two sisters shared a room when they were kids, and I assume they had a good time. I didn't have anybody to share a room with. So the Bradys, I would have loved to have grown up in that house. Then, there's always Marcia as she ages. Would have been nice to be a part of. The next one, the next family. I don't know if this was on my favorite shows list. I don't think it was. I don't think it made the cut. But Family Ties. That house was comfy. The Family Ties house was comfy. The Brady's house was not comfy. And the Beaver house was not comfy. The Cleavers. That was all like that really stiff 50s and even 70s furniture where it just didn't seem like you could lounge around on a Sunday and just cuddle up on your gigantic couch. They didn't have that. Family Ties started becoming, this was 80s, so this was like the comfy house. And the room that I would want to spend the most time in Family Ties was the kitchen. A lot of the sitcom was based in the kitchen. And I love that. I think that's a very 80s concept. Hanging out in your kitchen, making your kitchen your main room. And I remember my dad's mother, my grandmother on my dad's side, lived in her kitchen. Like would sit at the kitchen table and just have a little TV on, and she would just watch black and white movies. And she'd have like 400 cups of coffee a day and like 600 pieces of cake, and then she'd have dinner. I mean, and when we went to visit, we hung out in the kitchen. In fact, the other rooms were dark. Like the living room was dark, and the TV it was off. Like you didn't go in the other rooms. You hung out in the kitchen. That's where the life was. And Family Ties does that a lot too. Like, a lot of their stuff is shot in the kitchen. And the thing that gets me the most is some of the scenes where, like, the kids are struggling with something or the parents are struggling with something, and they get up from a sound slumber, and they go downstairs to the kitchen, and they sit at the table and they pour themselves a glass of milk and they mull over whatever's bothering them. And then shortly thereafter, somebody else comes in. Like, I heard some noise down here, or I'm just getting up to get some milk and I notice you're at the table. It's 3:00 in the morning. What's eating you? Love that. And it doesn't happen anywhere else in the world since. It doesn't happen. Nobody's getting up at 3 a.m. and going down to the kitchen and turning on the light in their bathrobe and, having a glass of milk. It's not happening. It should happen. I love it. And it should happen. So Family Ties is another one. Okay, so now we're getting into two that I would like to live in as an adult. You know that my favorite show is Dallas. But I wouldn't want to live in the Ewing compound, the Ewing Ranch, South Fork Ranch. I wouldn't want to have grown up in that environment because, you were either JR's son or you were Bobby's son. And neither parent was like super involved. They were both totally off doing their own life and their own careers and business. But as an adult, if I could be reborn into, I would want to be reborn into a farming family. I would want to have a farm in my family. I would love to take over a farm. I would love to live on a farm. And the Ewing compound was much more than a farm. It was a massive ranch. And I would have loved today even, I would love to sell this house and buy a ranch with land and places for horses and livestock, chickens and whatever. But, I don't know how you, like the Ewings had oil. That's why they had it. Like, could you be self-sufficient with a cattle farm these days? I don't know. But the concept of living on a massive, well-known ranch and being a local, well-known farmer, almost a statewide known farmer, is so appealing to me. And even the farm life, getting up at 4 a.m. and taking care of the farm, really appeals to me. I wish that I could do that today. So Dallas homestead, the ranch. Finally, and this, hopefully the kids, but Seinfeld, ladies and gentlemen, Seinfeld. That show is so appealing to me because of the life that Jerry lives. And I have not lived alone. I lived alone for about 7 months in my life. Yeah. I lived at home, and then I lived with my grandparents until 20. When I was 20 years old, I was working in the mall, making all of $19,000 a year. And I was that made me wealthy, obviously. And I got an apartment. And I lived in that apartment by myself for 7 months. And then I got fired from my mall job and broke the lease and moved back home. Yeah, at 21. And that's it. From there, I lived with my grandparents for another 2 years, and then moved in with with my wife, the children's mother, and it was on from there, apartment and then house. So I've lived alone for 7 months, and the Seinfeldian life, if you can have that mindset, like if you're okay being alone, if you don't get depressed if you're by yourself, there is something so appealing about coming home to a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment by yourself, with your own decorations, with your own life, with your own food, and just doing your thing. And then Seinfeld has friends when he wants them, right? If he doesn't want to be alone, brings people in. He's dating every single episode, no serious relationships, just seeing whoever he wants, and completely happy with it. And has a job where he really only has to work like a handful of times a month as a comedian. He gets paid, and off he goes. And I love it. I love Seinfeld's life. The New York City apartment, when I did have an apartment, I did live in the city of Rochester, so it was a little bit like I lived in a cool part of town, right? In like a walk up, like a 4th floor. I had an elevator in my apartment, and but I don't know if I could dig New York City. But again, I love now, like with all these beautiful children that I love more than anything in the world. I still wonder what it would be like to live a Seinfeldian life and just be on your own, man. So Seinfeld is the other '80s/'90s life, home, family that I would have liked to have lived in. That's top 5. We will be back with the LJNs. We'll continue doing those, and lots of other fun stuff. Check me out at the Comic-Cons. Go. Somebody go. Like, I know Upstate Johnny is going to meet me at RetroCon. That's going to be great. I can't wait for that. But come to Steel City Con. I know Gianni Martello is going to be there. Come to Steel City. Let's hang out there. Until next time,